Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor for me to welcome you to our Veterans Day program. We'd like to extend a special welcome to Mayor Norm Searle and any members of the Riverdale City Council that are participating with us in the broadcast this day. My name is Braden Mitchell. I'm currently serving as the Mayor Pro Tem and the Senior City Council member. This program has been pre-recorded in segments and edited together. In this time of the pandemic, Riverdale City has tried hard to produce a quality Veterans Day program to demonstrate our gratitude and appreciation for the Veterans Service. We would also like to thank and recognize the members of our Veterans Advisory Group. They are Lois Davis, David Leahy, and Charles Kirkfleet. These folks deserve our gratitude and some recognition. They have done and still do a lot for Riverdale's veterans. We also express our gratitude for this beautiful Veterans Memorial Plaza that provides the backdrop for our ceremony. 2020 marks the 10-year anniversary of the construction of the memorial. Hopefully it will continue to stand and honor our veterans for many more decades. Most of all, we'd like to welcome those veterans and veterans' families that are here participating with us this day. May we now have a moment of silence as we pause to remember those that have served and those who are now serving in the defense of this great nation. May we especially remember those wounded, those missing in action, and those who have made the ultimate sacrifice to protect our many freedoms. Thank you. We will now proceed with our flag ceremony and national anthem. If the audience would please rise. Thank you. You may be seated. The color guard was provided by the Utah Military Academy. The national anthem was performed by a choir from T.H. Bell Junior High School, and Mr. Jim Simone is our bugler. We thank them for their fine service this morning. Our mayor, Norm Searle, will now introduce our guest speaker.
It's a beautiful fall day here at the Riverdale Veterans Memorial as we pause to remember those veterans who have served to establish and protect the many freedoms of this and other countries. We are gratefully indebted to our veterans for their service. It is an honor for me this morning to introduce our guest speaker, Brigadier General McCauley von Hoffman. We appreciate her willingness to join us for our Veterans Day program. Brigadier General von Hoffman is the commander, Ogden Air Logistics Complex at Hill Air Force Base. As commander, she leads a team of more than 8,500 personnel performing depot maintenance, repair, overhaul, and modification of the A-10, C-130, T-38, F-16, F-22, F-35, and the Minuteman III Intercontinental Ballistic Missile System. The complex also oversees the national level air power reservoir for maintenance, storage, reclamation, regeneration, and disposal at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, Arizona. Additionally, the complex produces aerospace commodities that includes electronics, avionics, instruments, power systems, and software for the assigned weapon systems, and is the landing gear center of excellence for the Air Force. Her responsibilities extend to operating locations in Japan, Colorado, Nebraska, Texas, California, Florida, Wyoming, North Dakota, and Montana. The Ogden Air Logistics Complex directly supports the global supply chain, enabling Department of Defense and allied combat operations. Brigadier General von Hoffman hails from Columbus, Mississippi, and received her commission through ROTC at Vanderbilt University in 1989. She began her career as a supply and fuels officer and later cross-trained into aircraft maintenance. She has since had assignments in both fighter and airlift weapon systems, logistics command and control, studies and analysis, as well as joint operations and logistics. She has published work in the Air and Space Power Journal, the Air Force Journal of Logistics, and with RAND Corporation. She has served tours in the Pacific and Europe and deployed in support of several contingency operations, including Operations Desert Shield, Desert Storm, Provide Comfort, Northern Watch, Cornet Oak, Iraqi Freedom, and Enduring Freedom. The General received a Bachelor of Science degree from Vanderbilt University, a Master of Military Operational Art and Science at Air University, and completed the Air War College at Maxwell Air Force Base, Alabama. She has attended many other military schools to her credit. Brigadier General von Hoffman has received numerous awards and decorations during her more than 30 years of exemplary military service. It is an honor to have her with us today. General von Hoffman.
Mayor Searle, thank you so much. Appreciate that introduction.
Very well.
So I didn't order the sounds of freedom, but they sure did sound good just at the beginning of this, so I hope all of you caught that. Good afternoon. It is truly my privilege to be with you all in person and virtually as we celebrate this special holiday. A day we remember and honor Americans' veterans for their willingness to serve and sacrifice. With that being said, I have a few thank yous to share on behalf of Team Hill. To our veterans, we personally thank each of you that served during a contingency, war, as well as in times of peace. Thank you for your sacrifice and contribution to our national security. Whether you served a 4-year enlistment or retired after 30 years, your dedication to this country is priceless and will forever be a part of your legacy as well as a piece of this nation's rich military history. You are forever airman, sailor, Marine, soldier, coastie, and now we add our space warfighters. And a grateful nation takes this day to celebrate you. To our veterans' families, thank you. Our mission is demanding, but not just on the service member. It is equally demanding, if not more, on our veterans' families. Both my husband and I have had a successful military service. Together, we have 55 years of military service. And we both attribute that to the support we've received both from our immediate and extended families. From spouses holding down the home front to parents sending care packages to foreign lands, it's unquestionable that it takes a strong support system to help and keep our service members grounded while they perform their duties both at home and abroad. To the civilian workforce, thank you. When we think of veterans, we think of uniformed military service members. Maybe we think of this uniform, maybe we think of a combat uniform. But in our local community, we are blessed with the Department of Air Force civilians, patriotic and highly skilled individuals that make up the majority of our base population. They are engineers, maintenance technicians, nurses, firefighters, and administrative assistants. And while they may not wear a uniform, they are all committed to accomplishing our mission. And finally, to the American citizen, especially those in the great state of Utah and the city of Riverdale, thank you for your overwhelming support. It is pretty common for military members to be in town in uniform and have someone stop them and say, "Thank you for your service." I hear this so often when I'm out and about. I hear it from people who are 4 years of age. I hear it from teenagers. I hear it from people who are 94 years of age. But it has not always been this way. When I first started my career, a long time ago, I was 18 years old, put on a uniform for the first time for Air Force ROTC. It was in the mid-'80s. Most of the strong anti-military rhetoric from the Vietnam War era had faded. I recall in this time that it was nearly strongly for nor strongly against military service. But from the moment Operation Desert Shield and later Desert Storm began, there has been nothing but absolute tremendous support for our service members. For the last 30 years, while we had people in harm's way in Southwest and Central Asia, sailing in the Pacific, standing guard in Europe, driving satellites that orbit the Earth, and on alert missions within our continental United States, our military has only known communities that wrapped their arms around them. Communities just like the community of northern Utah and the city of Riverdale. To have the support of the American Republic not only makes it easier to complete our mission, but to complete it with a stronger sense of purpose. The flame of that purpose is in all of us, but it is lit and kept ablaze by the people we support and defend. And just a quick word about the military who are serving today in this amazing community. They are literally just a few miles away. I am proud to share that Hill Air Force Base, Hill Field to many of you, is celebrating its 80th anniversary this year, much due to the continued support of this community. Since World War II, the base has provided the Army Air Forces and later the United States Air Force, and now the United States Space Force, combat capability with its fighter wings and its massive maintenance, repair, and overhaul capabilities for fighter and airlift aircraft, intercontinental ballistic missiles, generators, landing gear, commodities, just to name a few. Today, we add software development for advanced air and space weapon systems. On any given day, there are 20,000 military and civilian airmen who enter the gates of Hill Air Force Base. They launch and fly the thunderous F-35, and they sustain the silent but strong strategic deterrent. So well into the future, our nation's security will be generated from the men and women serving at Hill Air Force Base and supported by the Northern Utah community. With that being said, our local veterans represent all services. I can only imagine what's in your hearts and minds today as you are here to honor our men and women that proudly served in the armed forces. Maybe they were a parent, maybe you're thinking of a brother, a sister, son, daughter, friend. We come from so many different backgrounds with different uniforms. We've served in different times in our nation's history, but we do share this one thing. We've all taken an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. We've written a check to the United States up to and including our life. So we thank you for the recognition that you give us today, and we thank you for taking time out of your busy day to honor this nation's treasure, our heroes, our veterans, past and present. Thank you.
Thank you, Brigadier General von Hoffman, for your remarks today. We know that were it not for the sacrifices of the brave men and women who put on the uniform of our country throughout our country's history, we probably would not be able to assemble here today. We would not know other blessings of liberty and freedoms that we enjoy. And instead of displaying old glory, we may be obliged to pledge allegiance to the flag of a former foe. To help us celebrate this year's Veterans Day, we are fortunate to have the Mount Ogden Brass with us to provide a musical tribute to our veterans. This ensemble is beginning its 21st year performing throughout northern Utah. Current members include Tyler Talbot and Paul Kapp on trumpet, Bryce Chamberlain and Ken Watkins on trombone, Rick Windley on tuba, and Stephen Carter on horn. Please welcome the Mount Ogden Brass as they perform Armed Forces Salute. This is a medley of songs from each branch of the service. Wherever you may be, when you hear the song from you or a member of your family's branch of service, please stand proud. Here is Armed Forces Salute. Thank you. That was very special. Thank you for being here today. We will now have a reading of the names that have been added to the memorial since our last Veterans Day program. The names will be read by Riverdale City Recorder Shaylee Ney. Following Shaylee's reading, Dave Leahy, a member of our Veterans Advisory Group, will ring the memorial bell as a tribute to all veterans.
We have one name being added to the wall, and it is Ben Fowler.
In closing, I would just like to express my appreciation to our veterans. My thoughts are summed up by a quote from Elmer Davis, the famous wartime reporter from World War II. He said, quote, "This nation will remain the land of the free only so long as it is the home of the brave," close quote. I am so grateful for the brave veterans that have fought and sacrificed so that we may all enjoy the wonderful freedoms of this nation. On this Veterans Day, I hope that each one of us can be citizens that are worthy of the sacrifices made by our veterans. I also hope that each one of our veterans will feel the love and support of those that you have helped to protect. As you go throughout the rest of your day, please hold your head high and know that we are grateful for your service. This concludes our program today. Thank you for being here.